Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our latest coronavirus TV episode, March the 27th, Friday, almost the weekend. A little bit frustrated. Maybe I need the weekend to come. I tried to record this before, but my microphone was turned off, so hoping I have better luck for take two. So what I'd like to talk about today is the COVID-19 Therapeutics Accelerator. Must admit, this is something I didn't know a great deal about, still perhaps don't, but I'm learning along the way, and I think it's something that would be nice to talk about in subsequent episodes too. It's a really nice story of collaboration. It's a scheme that's set up by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation together with the Wellcome Trust and MasterCard. So far they have pledges of $125 million, and the whole point of the scheme is to accelerate the COVID-19 therapeutics, as you can imagine from the name. It involves both identifying drugs that we currently have that should work, designing and discovering new drugs, and then bringing them through clinical trials, and then also enabling the manufacture of these drugs on the scale that's going to be required globally. It's born out of lessons that we learned during the 2014 Ebola outbreak. So its collaborators include the World Health Organization, national governments, and then of course pharmaceutical industry, which has an important role to play. So we currently have 15 different pharma companies part of the consortium. I know Novartis was the most recent to sign up yesterday. And what it means for pharma is sharing their drug libraries, so that they can all be screened for potential activity against COVID-19. It means sharing all of the known clinical and safety data for these drugs, and also a pooling of resources when it comes to manufacturing as well. I think there's a huge need for this, for a central body to kind of oversee the wider industry efforts, and a body that can almost set aside the individual commercial interests of the various parties. There is a bit of a tortoise and hare analogy that we can use here. So companies that are acting individually can be very, very quick and nimble, like our hare. If you just have to look at Moderna and how quickly it's been able to bring its mRNA vaccine, firstly designing it, then getting it into healthy volunteers, and now actually there's talk about potentially dosing it in healthcare workers as early as summer. Whereas the COVID-19 Therapeutics Accelerator, despite its name, might actually be more of the tortoise. But I think this is important because there is to have some kind of regulation over the pace of development. I've said this before, we don't need 10, 15 companies competing with each other and saying, oh, my drug's the best. Having a central oversight over the entire industry effort, or as many collaborators as possible, will help us to identify the best drug. So what it really is accelerating isn't necessarily the clinical trial process, but it's accelerating identifying the best candidates, and then it's also going to accelerate bringing this best candidate into as many patients as quickly as possible. It might be quite hard to tease out the exact benefits and the exact results that the accelerator does bring, because companies are still acting individually, including companies that are inside the collaboration. But I do think it's a really neat concept, and I do hope it produces tangible results, and is also part of that best practice for reacting to future pandemic scenarios, or just future world health, public health threats that we haven't yet resolved as well. Yeah, that's all for today. I hope you are able to enjoy a restful and safe weekend. I look forward to speaking to you all next week. Take care now.